Imagine you, me, and the boys. When I get my first luxury car,
Ow! My ears, man. Fuck. My bad. So can someone explain to me why this is happening? Every time I go outside, every time I even just check my phone, I'm watching a whole generation trying to speedrun their childhood. Seriously though, when I was 12, I wasn't doing any of this shit. I was too busy playing box fights. And listen, I know that's nothing to be proud of, okay? I'm self-aware, but there's kids nowadays preoccupied with trying to be millionaires by 15 instead of just enjoying their childhood. Like, it's okay to live like a teenager, you know what I mean? And listen, you know what, I'm all for people getting money, okay? I'm all for that. I wish I was as smart as some of these people when I was that age, you know, having a side hustle. But there's literally kids nowadays selling courses to other people on how to become finance gurus or some shit. If we're being honest though, it's not even their fault. Everywhere they look, someone is telling them that they're behind and that they have to escape the matrix and all that bullshit. So of course it's natural that they want to feel ahead of their peers. That's the thing though, nowadays a lot of people are trying to act too cool to do anything, you know. People are acting older than they are. And don't get that twisted with maturity as well. Maturity is a completely different thing, you know. Of course you can be more mature for your age when you're a teenager at a younger age. I would like to say that I am as well, but as a teenager I had to go through some type of character development, you know what I mean? But a lot of people nowadays are too cool to do anything, you know. If you try to start something that you're passionate about, a lot of people will just clown you for it. And that's why growing up as a kid nowadays is so weird. Like, I have a sister myself, right? She's 8 years old and she doesn't understand any of the money shit yet, you know. But one of my uncles bought her a phone for her birthday, which I was really against, because even if you have parental blocks, you know, you give a kid access to that kind of stuff, nothing good will come from it, if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, she has it now, so you know, what are you supposed to do? And of course parental blocks are on it, and she's not allowed social media, of course. But when she's watching YouTube and shit like that, like, sometimes she's so locked in on it that you can't get her attention, you know. And I feel like so many kids are like that nowadays. I even see that at my job. There's parents eating with their kids at the table and the kids just on YouTube shorts or on TikTok scrolling. And honestly, like, it's so sad to see, but it's kind of engraved in pop culture now, right? Just in culture in general. I mean, for guys, there's a pressure to provide and do all this sorts of stuff, which is understandable, of course. But then you're putting this pressure on 13, 14, 15-year-olds that don't have a stable income, that obviously can't provide. And that's when people stop acting their age, you know. It's okay to not have things figured out by 15, 16, 17, 18, whenever, you know. But back to my main point, what is the main cause of this? It's social media. Okay, like, big shot. Seriously though, when was the last time you saw kids playing outside, you know, just doing regular shit? It's so rare nowadays because everyone's on the game and shit. Everyone's scrolling on TikTok and sending videos to each other, etc. And that's kind of become the norm now, you know. I'll admit, I was like this too. I wasn't the perfect child. Like I said, when I was 12, 13 years old, I was spending most of my time indoors playing Fortnite and shit like that. And do I regret it? Of course I do. I lost passion with something that I grew up with heavily back home. I just lost touch with it, you know. Of course I regret it. But even with that, I always did what I had to do, you know. I always did my chores. I always got good grades. I never did really anything wrong. Like, I was a goody two-shoes. But with all that, I wasn't pretending to be someone that I'm not, you know. Like, I look back at myself from that time and I cringe at myself, and that's what you're supposed to do. But it feels like a lot of the kids nowadays are too cool to do anything like that, and they can't go through that necessary progression in life. Okay, yeah, I had to take the suit jacket off. It was getting a bit hot, I'm not gonna lie. I look, you want to get a quarter zip, I might get one. Like I was saying though, this is exactly the problem. Like, genuinely, have you noticed more just younger people in general just be little delinquents, you know what I mean? I don't want to sound like an old Karen, you know, whatever, because I'm only 18, but it's true. And it's literally because of this. It's like everyone is trying to outdo each other, but in doing that, no one actually builds their own personality. How can you know what you are actually like if your whole existence depends on impressing others? And that's another thing, you know, people just absorb what they see and then they just become the thing that's trending. And it's only gonna get worse for people that are still growing up right this second, right? They want to fit in, and so of course they're gonna be like their favorite influencer, their favorite YouTuber, their favorite TV star, streamer, anything. But then they'll copy how they act and they'll copy the dumb shit that they do so they can make their friends laugh, right? But then they'll be surprised when it blows up in their face. And it's not necessarily their fault because, you know, kids are impressionable. The sad part, in my opinion, is that the parents don't care about this. I mean, a lot of parents just let the iPads raise their own kids instead of them. And of course, I understand, you know, raising kids is tiring. It's a really difficult job. But at the same time, why would you bring a life into the world without being prepared to care for it? So what's the moral of the story here? Just don't let the internet raise you, please, 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 please. If you have a brother, a cousin, just anything, and you know that they're being raised by an iPad right now, please just try to intervene, please. Just don't try to be someone that you're not. just to impress other people. And listen, maybe in a few years you will look back and cringe the same way I do, but at least it'll be for a good reason. At least you know you're growing as a person. Or, you know, just try to become a millionaire at 15, you know. I'm not stopping you, honestly. And if you actually end up doing it, then you know what? Well done, man. I have to give it to you.